Okay, we're going to use this mind tap interface because it's got so much power that we can play with to talk about this project. Now, for the project, the MVA covers most of what you've got to do. So with that said, let's go ahead and say from date time, import date time. So there's a date time class. I want to import the date time functionality, and I'll say now equals date time dot now. Let's run it and see if this works fine for us so far. It ran, we had no problems. So let's come down to the next line. What are we going to do? So there's some values that we're going to have to deal with. We need to output a specific line of text. Congratulations, the person's name. You have blank years until you retire in the year whatever. So I need to find out the person's age. I need to find out their name. What else do I need? I've got a constant, which is the retirement age. I know that is 65 is when they were able to retire. And what do we have left? Let's say year. And that's the current year right now. So we've got 3 variables and a constant. And let's ask the user, we'll go ahead and acquire their name. Name is equivalent to input. Now I need to prompt them. Please enter your name. I'll go ahead and I'll wrap that in some quotations. So name equals please enter your name. And do one more. You're born equals 0. Say you're born equals int input. So I'm going to receive a string and automatically right out of the, as soon as I get it, first thing I do is convert it to an integer because year born is an integer. And prompt them, please enter your year of birth. I'm going to give them an example. So let's go ahead and run it, see what we look like so far. Please enter your name. James. Enter your year of birth, 1997. So it's collecting data, and it's storing that data in some variable locations for me. So our next task that we've got to deal with is we have to find out how many years is it until you retire. So let's go ahead, we'll create a variable for that. I'll call it TTR. Okay. And how do we come up with, let's go ahead and calculate your age. We'll take care of that first. Age is equivalent to, and how do you figure out their age? I know what year they're born. and I need to find out what the current year is. So age is equivalent to this year, right now. All right. So I'll say integer, because I got to subtract an integer from an integer, and that would be now dot year minus year born. Okay, and let's just test it out by putting a print statement in there. That'll tell us what the age is. So we'll go ahead and run it. Enter your name, James 1997, enter. So James is 21 at the moment. Well, let's bring that down a bit. Before I do that print, let's do a little more math. Now, what is it that I need to figure out? I need to find out how long it is until this individual retires. Time to retire is equivalent to retirement age minus age. And we'll go ahead and we'll change that to TTR and see what we have now. So we'll do James 1997. We know that he's 21. And that means that it's 44 years until he retires. 21 and 44 is in fact 65. So it's working the way we want it to work. So now I know how old they are, how long until they retire, and the year. We'll call it the ret year. Ret year is equivalent to this now dot year. So I'll copy that. Plus how long it takes until you retire. So I'll go ahead and print that out and find out what year this individual will retire. James 1997, and I know that he'll retire now in the year 2062. So the information I need is all within these variables, so I can create this long string to pass out to them, or I can pass multiple values. So I can say, congratulations. And I'll put comma. I'll pass multiple values, and that way I don't have to convert everything to a string. Congratulations, name, comma, you will retire in, comma, now I don't want the retirement year, I want the number of years. I want TTR. You will retire in blank years comma in the year comma ret year. So congratulations, the person's name. You will retire in the however many years in the year. So let's see what it does. James 1997. Congratulations, James. You will retire in 44 years in the year 2062. So everything's there. I could have gone through and changed these to plus and then required those to be converted into strings, each one. Like that. And we'll see where I did one of them. Let's see what it does. You see, it does the same thing. I just got to put spaces in when I do that. So we'll go back to commas, and it all goes through the way we want it to go. And we're keeping this simple. We're not breaking it out into all the different functions. We'll deal with this more and more and more as we move along, the importing of different functionalities. But for this, it's not that bad of a project. We just got to get used to bringing values in, changing the data type, manipulating the data into calculations, and then doing something with it when it's all done and over with. All right.